source. Okay, what is the skeleton or generator idea that leads to new designs? A little more definition of the operational principle of yo-yo. It's a balanced load on a pendule thrown against the pendule. Resistance spins away, creating a gyroscopic motion. That's one of the things it does. Creating potential energy stored, reaches the end of the pendule. The potential energy converts to kinetic, continuous spinning motion, restraint of the pendule, causes return by rewinding. That's just a more detailed version of what we said before, isn't it? Okay. Is this a yo-yo? This one says Top Flight 1, and this one says Flying Lady 2. Is that a yo-yo? Actually, it is, according to our operational definition. How many different things could I put on as the loads, as the matching loads? How many things could you think of as a designer to put on there that might be attractive to kids or useful to people who became connoisseurs of yo-yos? Okay, this one here is fascinating. This is called the Yomega. Do you see all this little stuff in here? That's not just painted on. That's a gearing system. It's what's called a transmission. The idea in yo-yos, once people get into competition with yo-yos, is they want better performance. They want longer sleeps. They want more stable yo-yos, more predictable yo-yo action. And so they build these very complicated. This probably was very expensive. Yeah, $11 for a yo-yo. But it sleeps longer and you can do more tricks with it. Is this a yo-yo? It has two equal hemispheres. It has an axle. Just so happens the axle has a transmission on it now. And it has a pendule. So it's a yo-yo. Okay. Night glow. We reached this one then by changing the surface features. You can change the surface features of something that is based on the same operational principle, and it still remains based on the same operational principle. As a matter of fact, that's how you can get so many different looking cars, so many different looking trucks. You change surface features. So what can't change in a yo-yo? The existence of a load, the existence of the pendule, the arrangement of the loads in the pendule, the forces in operation, balance of forces, the proportions, and the action. Somebody, let's design a yo-yo for just a second. What do you want to have on the loads? What do you want to use for the equal loads?
Two sharp spikes.
Two sharp spikes? Why didn't you say razor blades, Jason? This is the yo-yo from hell. Okay.
Is it important that it be round?
Could you do something that was square? Could you make a square yo-yo? Why not? Why couldn't it be any shape? Why couldn't it be an irregular shape?
If it was an irregular shape, would they have to be symmetric?
They have to be balanced. They have to be proportioned. The forces, yep. The mass.
When they're spinning, they are symmetrical completely.
I don't know. I'm not a physicist enough to know, but I suspect they become,
Well, one of my grandkids made
in terms
a
of
pop
energy.
out of this little game, which has magnet sticks with little balls, you know, and they made a top out of that thing, and it works just fine.
There you go. Could you make a yo-yo out of popsicle sticks with rocks tied to the end? Could you make a yo-yo out of how many different kinds? Could you make a yo-yo out of found objects in a junkyard? As long as you found, could you make a yo-yo out of hubcaps from a junkyard? Sure, you could. All of a sudden, this operational principle starts to be an idea generator for you. And how many different kinds of pendule can you think of? Now, see, that was the one thing I couldn't find very many variations of.
Wikipedia says Pendle is a borough of Lancashire. So I couldn't create the article for you. I went to do it.
They think it's a place. Yeah. That's the dark side of Wikipedia. Okay. What can change? What can change? Well, a lot of things can change in an operational. When you're using an operational principle to define your thing, a lot of things can change. the materials that you use, the exact dimensions, and the scale of those dimensions. Could you make a yo-yo that was this big around out of pizza boxes or used pizzas or whatever? Yes, you could. In theory, you could do that. The exact nature of the loads, the exact nature of the spindle. It could be steel, it could be string, it could be anything flexible, it could be rubber. Okay, the decorations, the details, the efficiency of action. That which could not change without destroying the operation of the artifact is part of the operational principle. And one of the things that here's how you can use this operational principle idea. Look at something that is effective in a certain way that you want to be effective. Then start thinking, how many parts of this could I strip away? How many surface features of this could I strip away and still have it work? Or how many different surface features could I change